Hey everybody, and welcome to More Books with B. Sharice. I'm your host, B. Sharice Moore. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know that I haven't been as consistent as I was when I first began. It was every Sunday like clockwork. But look, I live a teacher life. I'm a mom. You guys all know that. And so grades are due, and actually, they were due yesterday. So that took up a lot of my time as well as family and just trying to rest, in preparation for spending more time with family in a few weeks. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. And I've got some great stuff for you today. So before I begin, some housekeeping. Get your pens, your pencils, your notebooks, your phones. Again, pens, pencils, notebooks, phones. All right, because I know you're going to want to take some notes about the book that I'm going to discuss today. Okay, so about a week and a half ago, I was a moderator for a children's authors panel at the Baltimore Book Festival down in the Inner Harbor. And shout out to Mia Loving, who did a fantastic job. She and her Invisible Majority team did a fantastic job putting together this tent. And it was a tent of authors and leaders and artists throughout the city who are really making a positive difference. And I just had a ball on that panel. And so again, shout out to Mia Loving. Please make sure that you look up the Invisible Majority. Okay, look up Invisible Majority. She's doing amazing things, and I know she's going to continue to do so. So I'm walking around, and I'm like, okay, I need some books, because look, books are like my toys. I got to be honest. Like the only thing I love more than reading is writing, and I think honestly those are like neck and neck. Okay, so I needed some books, and one of my students that I taught last year, she'd given me a gift card. All right, for Barnes and Noble for $30, and I hadn't used it, so it's like about to burn a hole in my pocket. So I go in and I'm talking to the one of the booksellers there, one of the well, she wasn't a bookseller, she was just one of the employees there at the store, and I'm asking her about different books, and then I remembered this book, and it was called Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky. And as much as I love mythology, I knew I wanted to read it immediately. So I got that book along with four others, and you'll hear about those others within the coming weeks because I'm excited to read about those too. But I decided to read Tristan Strong, and let me tell y'all something. I could not put this book down. All right, so Tristan Strong punches a hole in the sky, and the author is Kwame Mbalia. Kwame Mbalia. Tristan Strong punches a hole in the sky. So in the middle of reading this book, right, I'm like, look, I gotta find this guy. I gotta find this author and tell him how much I'm in love. I am in love with this book. So I'm on Twitter and I'm typing in his name. And like he immediately responds. It's just like, yeah, it's all love. You know what I mean? Gives me little hearts, because I tell him how engaging and powerful the book is. And it's always cool to interact with other authors, especially other authors with titles that you really enjoy. So Tristan Strong punches a hole in the sky. First of all right, I want more books with male characters of color. All right, I want more of them. I see a lot of female characters of color, and I love that. Don't get me wrong, but I want more novels with male characters of color because I'm outside of, I guess, uh, Kwame Alexander and of course Jason Reynolds. I just don't see it as much as I would like. Now, I'm not saying those are the only two authors who write for this audience. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is those are the two that come to my mind whenever I think of male protagonists of color. I think of Jason Reynolds, and then I think Kwame Alexander. So we've got another Kwame Mbalia. Make sure you pick up this book. All right. Now, this book is dense. All right. It's huge. Okay. So it's going to take some time. So, would I tell you not to use this book for your struggling readers? No. But what I would say is to make sure that you comb through this with them. All right. So, parents, homeschoolers, if you have a child that is a reluctant reader or a struggling reader, this is not a book that you just throw at them. Hopefully you're not doing that anyway. And I know y'all are great. Y'all know what y'all doing. So of course you're not just throwing books at your child anyway. You are giving them the proper background information so they'll be engaged, and you're, introducing it to them so that it's something that they really, really want to check out. And with this book, you're going to have to do the same with your reluctant and struggling readers. You're going to have to either read it with them, all right, encourage them through it, all right. And even though it's a quick read, it is a dense read. Again, all right. This book is 482 pages. 482 pages long. Okay, so be ready. Now, for those of you who have students and children who just eat books alive, this is the book for you. Okay, my gifted and talented students, my students who love to read, would eat this book in probably a couple of weeks. I have one young lady; she'd probably read this book in I would give her maybe a couple of weeks. Yeah, probably about 10 days. Yeah, good strong 10 days. She just eats books like that. And there are students like that. Okay? Don't let the hype fool you. Yeah, we have some problems with some students who don't necessarily love to read, but there are still some that do. And I know them because they're in my class. So anyway, Tristan Strong. What do I love about this book? First of all, I love geography. A little bit about me. I used to love where in the world is Carmen Sandiego games. So I'll probably tell him my age, but one year when I think I was in fifth grade year, I got an Apple II computer for Christmas. And the first game that I ever got outside of the print shop, because print shop wasn't a game, that was just, I guess we could probably call it it was software. Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't an apps weren't what we called them back in the 1980s and early 90s. But oh well, I already gave away my age. Oh well. But anyway, it was software. So I got the print shop and I got Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. I could not stop playing that game. Could not stop. And from there, my mom bought me Where in the USA is Carmen Sandiego. Okay, could not stop. Then I got Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego. Could not stop. Where in Europe is Carmen Sandiego. Just loved it. And because of that, I'm actually a geography whiz. So how does that connect to this, Bridget? All right, be Sharice. All right, guess what? It's a map inside. Oh my gosh, look. When there is a map inside a book, what? I'm excited. All right. I want to know all about this world. Like, oh my gosh, this is where they're going to go. Oh my gosh, what's over here in the Nazis' lair? What's over here? What's Alki? What's the burning sea? I want to know those things. And they're just a great prepping tool to introduce me to a fantastical world that I've never, traveled to before. So I open up this book and I see this giant map and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. I can't wait to get into it. So, Kwame Mbalia literally thrusts you into this world within the first few pages of this young man who's lost his friend in this tragic bus accident. He feels guilty because he can't save his friend, and his friend has left behind these stories. All right, and these stories are extremely rich. They're about African gods and African American gods, and so you're going to hear about Brer Rabbit, and you're going to hear about Gum Baby, and you're going to read a little bit about John Henry and a Nazi the Weaver. And it's a tale of a young man who's trying to get back home, but he's going to have to tangle with the trickster in order to do so. All right. And not only is he going to have to tangle with this trickster, he also is going to have to gain the confidence necessary to believe that he's worthy. All right. So it's a coming of age tale. It's about a young man who's not so sure of himself. All right. And with losing his best friend, he's lost a huge part of himself too. So this book is about discovery. He's discovering these stories. He's discovering these gods. He's discovering, and by stories I mean the stories that his friend has already written. All right, that had these magical powers. And so it's just a joy ride, a thrill ride inside this new world where it's an amazing intersection of West African gods and African American gods as well. And I just love what Kwame and Mbalia has done with this book. It is amazing from cover to cover, front to finish. And I honestly believe that you should pick it up. All right. I mean, why not? And if your child is a fan of the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, then this is the series for you. Because I don't know if you know this, but Rick Riordan, all right, is the author of the Percy Jackson series, and he has some other spin-off tales. All right. And I believe this is his imprint. Yeah, this is the RR imprint. All right. So he's introducing other authors and he's introducing other tales, other mythology from around the world. And I couldn't be more excited about it. Okay. So yes, Tristan Strong, young boy from Chicago, a boxer, all right, who goes to chill, well, not chill, but to basically to heal, all right, to heal from the death of his friend, to a farm in Alabama with his grandparents, and he enters this fantasy world, and from front to finish again, it's an amazing journey. So please pick it up. So now, I would say that this book is appropriate for grades, I don't know, 6 through 8. Yeah, this is like a middle school book, you know. However, you know, it's one of those books that's similar to Harry Potter in that it can draw an audience from 8 to 80. I really believe that, and I don't say that about all YA books. I just happen to be an adult who's a fan of YA and middle grade literature, but there's something about Tristan Strong that just has that appeal, I feel, anyway, for a wide and broad audience of people. So for your activity, I loved teaching mythology last year. And one of the things that I had my students do was I had them research mythological creatures from around the world. So I think that would fit in with this. So I'm going to add that to the description section. I'll add a link to that assignment, but also having your children or your students, if you're a homeschooler or a teacher, having them think about writing their own myths is always fun. All right. There's so many trickster myths. Have them research Anansi, have them research Brer Rabbit, Gum Baby, or Tar Baby. Okay, so Gum Baby and Tar Baby are from Southern Black American folklore, and so they're referred to by that name. So if you look up Gum Baby, you may not see that, and you'll probably come across Tar Baby, but they're about the same. So just type in Gum Baby Southern folklore, and you should find what you're looking for if you want to know more about Gum Baby and Gum Baby's history. So actually, you know what? I think I'm wrong. Let me rewind. All right. Actually, Gum Baby is not Southern American folklore. That's Brer Rabbit and John Henry. Gum Baby is from West Africa. Yes, that's West African mythology. And you'll find Gum Baby and Tar Baby. Like I said, those names are interchangeable in the story of Anansi and Tar Baby, because it is Anansi who, I believe, created Gum Baby. Okay. So have your students write a myth. Have them research a mythological creature from around the world. I kind of discourage my students from looking at your average run-of-the-mill, everybody knows, European, or not even just European, but because all European mythology is not known. You have your Greek and Roman mythology that is most prevalent. And that's what people know more than anything. But I kind of forced them to look at mythological creatures from other places that they never heard of, you know, and they ended up really enjoying that assignment. So you'll have that, and get an opportunity to write their own myth if they'd like. And if you want to combine both projects, they can write a myth about a mythological creature that they previously had never heard of. Or you can stretch it a little bit further and they can write a myth about a new god or new mythological creature that they have created. Okay, so this should be fun. Most of my students really enjoy the mythology unit, and I hope that maybe we can get this adopted. I've already put the word out in the Baltimore County ELA office that this is something we need to adopt. My only fear is that it's really long, so it might not be something we be able to cover in just one unit. But one can only hope, you know. Hopefully they still get word of it and understand how fantastic it is, and it'll be added as a choice so other teachers can teach it. Okay. So again, the book is Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky. The author is Kwame Mbalia. Kwame Mbalia. All right. And pick it up. I'm going to have a link to Kwame Mbalia's website in the description section as well. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Like, comment, share, subscribe. All right. And hopefully this was worth your while. And I'm B. Sharice. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week with a new fantastic book. All right. Y'all take care.